Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest. Today we have from Grafton, we have a children's author, and her name is, I'm going to spell this right, Kristy Kielbasinski. I got it. It's a beautiful name. Is it Czech?
Polish.
It's Polish. Gosh, I got it. And her illustrator is Jay Gaudet, and it's called I Don't Know. And it's about a little penguin. And if you look at her shirt, Kristy has a penguin shirt on. Now, what made you decide to write this?
This was for my children. During the pandemic, I was home with them, and I couldn't do comedy. I'm a stand-up comedian, so this was just an outlet for that.
How long did it take you to write it?
It didn't take that long to write it, although editing it, I would read it to my children, and we would see if the punchline would hit with them. And if it did, it was great. If it didn't, I'd have to go back and try again. And I would read it to my neighbors' children as well. Yeah, we would
That's great.
going through and through to make sure all the jokes.
Yeah, you did have with the story. It's beautifully illustrated. I mean, well, look at her T-shirt, and then look at the beautiful penguin. Did you design that T-shirt?
No.
You just found it?
I just found it on Amazon.
You kidding?
Yeah, no.
It's perfect.
By chance. After the book had already been written and illustrated.
You know what I'm thinking? How about, roughly what was the cost?
Probably like $20. No.
Oh, 20. Okay. I was going to say if you got it mass produced.
Yeah.
When you give presentations. Oh, and here's the shirt that goes through it. So your children approved.
Yes. Which is something in and of itself.
Yeah, it's definitely. Give us a little bit. It says, join in the fun-filled adventure to discover a little penguin's favorite book. Give us a heads up as to what it's about.
The book is about a penguin and an adult, and they are on their way to a book sale, actually. And the adult penguin keeps asking the child what their favorite book is. And you can see the adventures that they go on throughout their journey of getting to the book sale, of what the book could possibly be that the child's favorite book is.
Yeah.
So, and then when they get to the end, you realize that the child's favorite book is really any book, as long as they're reading it with their parent.
Book sales, oh gosh, they are so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, do you walk out with a ton?
Yes.
For the kids too, right?
Right. I can't even walk into the library. I walk out with a ton.
I don't think I could go into a library and not walk out with something. Speaking of, sometimes they have the books for sale, used books.
Yeah.
I know Grafton, where you're from, Grafton has we're getting a new library too, right up the street in Upton, and Grafton has theirs so semi-new, still kind of new,
Yeah.
right up the street on 140. And I think they've done a great job over there.
Oh, it's a beautiful library.
They did. The only thing is, well, they've got the elevator, but those stairs, have you gone up? Yeah. One day I almost took a tumble right off of it.
Oh, no.
Well, I was kind of going too fast.
Okay.
But have you taken the elevator?
I tend to go to the children's room. It's on the first floor.
That's on the first floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've got the adults and the teens up in the second floor.
No, actually, oh.
Yeah, the teens are like straight.
That's on the first floor, the teen room.
Yeah, it's kind of a straight to
Yeah.
the right. Yeah, I've been in there too. That's pretty cute. And then they've got like a room for events.
Yep.
I like that too. Did you contribute to their quilt that they had people do?
No, I am not.
The art quilt. I did, and I keep asking, what's her name? She's the one that heads a lot of book groups.
Beth?
She's always in she's always in a little outfit.
Oh, I don't know her name.
I can't think of her name. When are you going to get that up? Pretty soon, I guess. Lots of people were free to donate a part of the quilt, which not sewing really, but like an artsy craftsy thing.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, what fun! That's when they were still at the library over in North Grafton. Remember, they were not library, the church.
The church.
The church. I remember donating it there.
Yeah.
That was how many years ago?
A little while ago. Yeah.
A little while ago. So you started writing this when?
In 2021, not sure.
Right.
2020 or 2021, yeah.
And it's your first book.
Yes.
How can they get a hold of your book, Krista?
Well, you can buy it on Amazon,
Mhm.
I don't know, or on my website you can go to, which is KristyKielbasinski.com. It's really a mouthful.
Can you spell your name, Krista?
It's a long one. KristyKielbasinski.
Now, you have appeared. Tell us the places you have appeared so far.
For the book,
For presentation, yeah, for your book.
for my book, I've done Boy Scout groups and different libraries around the area
That's
so
good.
far.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
I mean, being a new author, I've told this many times, but years ago I had an author. She was new, and I was her publicist, and I suggested she go to the senior centers as well as cafes and all the books. And she said, "Why?" I said, "Because they have grandchildren."
Right.
And she made a hit.
Yeah.
Because they're there to buy for their grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Because
Yeah.
they couldn't figure it out. Why are you sending me there?
Yeah.
I'm like, think.
Even as a comedian after shows, I've sold books.
You're a comedian.
Yes.
Where have you been appearing?
I appear in clubs all over New England. For instance, this weekend I'll be at Nick's Comedy Stop in Boston.
At Hank's in Boston.
Nick's.
Nick's Comedy. They've been around a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who is that famous? He was on with Jerry Williams a lot years ago. Remember, Jerry Williams was one of the big talk show hosts in Boston. He used to imitate the mayor of Boston, Kevin White. Oh, he's still around. Jerry,
I don't know.
can't think of it, but that's a good place to be.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
got a good reputation.
Yeah, Nick's is great. They had Bill Burr there last summer.
Bill-
Bill Burr, he was
Oh,
there before he
Bill
played
Burr.
Fenway. He
Yeah.
was-
Where else do you go?
So I go there, I go to Roar out in the MGM in Springfield, the comedy scene in Foxborough, really all over. And anywhere within an hour, 2 hours,
You're fine.
I'm fine. You
You're
should see the
fine.
miles I've put on my car this year.
So you have to bide your time between getting your book noticed and
Right.
then doing your comedian routine. How
Right.
do you do it?
Well, it's mostly the comedy is my main focus. And then, like I said, I can sell the book at events.
Right.
At
Have you been to
con-
Tatnock yet?
Yep, I have my book is at Tatnick,
Right.
is available
Okay,
there
that's,
as well.
That's one place that, there's another good place out in Webster, Book Lovers Gourmet. There's a lot of places.
There's a lot of
You would
bookstores.
love. Oh, gosh, yeah. So now, this is the first. Is it going to be a sequel?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
We'll see.
know.
We'll see. The reason, like I said, I wrote the book is because of I couldn't do stand-up comedy
Yeah.
at that time, so it was a good outlet for that. But now I'm very booked doing comedy.
You're,
So-
how much booked are you? Like every single weekend?
Yeah, every single weekend I work Thursday, Friday, Saturday
Thursday,
nights.
Friday, Saturday. So
And-
that leaves the other weekdays.
Some nights I'm booked as well, and then
Yeah.
I still have 3 children. With
You have children
sports.
under 12.
Right. So
How do you do it? How do you do that?
between sports and clubs,
I don't know. My kid was like 10 kids rolled into one.
yeah,
Yeah, so that. But you've got 3
3 boys. Yes.
boys?
Yes.
Okay, in a good way, that's you don't have to pay for any weddings coming
I don't
up.
have to pay anyway.
No. But I do believe that the groom's parents pay for the dinner before the
The
wedding.
rehearsal and the
The
honeymoon, or at
rehearsal,
least
right.
it used to be. I don't know.
Yeah, my parents were very gracious. I was their only daughter, and they just
Oh.
picked everything
They
up.
did.
But I remember very, very well. Everybody is very nervous. I remember that. They didn't show it necessarily, but you can tell, like, oh my God, especially me. Now, you have Jay. How did you find the illustrator Jay Gaudet?
Jay Gaudet and I worked together in entertainment before the pandemic. Jay is a drag queen in Worcester. He's known as the Queen of Drag. Him and I met through Nikki Luparelli. She's kind of the godmother of Worcester's entertainment industry. She knows everybody and everything. So when I was looking for an illustrator, I'd worked with Jay, but not in this capacity. And I didn't even know that he did this. And
He's very talented.
extremely talented. Those are all hand drawn. Every illustration is done by
Don't
hand.
let him go. You're going to stick to children's books, you think?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're a shoo-in.
Yeah.
Is this his first book he ever illustrated?
Yes, it's his first book illustrating. He does his own comic book series online.
He
So,
does. Is it just online?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a shame because, people like to feel a book, see it, buy
Right.
a nice, fresh new... Get him to get out there, for heaven's sakes. I mean, he did... This is great. The Penguin is the star of the show is sitting on all this... Did he show this to you before you published it?
We went back and forth on a lot of different covers
Yeah.
for it. This cover was my idea. and then we just worked tirelessly
Now, I don't remember.
even just for the coloring on it. We wanted to make sure that this book is totally gender neutral, totally diverse. Anybody could read this book. It's not, you're not in one category. per se.
Exactly. Now, there's no picture of you.
No, and there's no picture of Jay.
That would be great. Maybe your next book, people like to see a picture of the person. Let me read you about this. Kristy I'm going to get this, Kielbasinski,
Yes.
loved to laugh as a child. So naturally, her favorite book was the monster at the end of this book. Now, as an adult, she's a stand-up comedian and gets to have strangers laugh at her crazy life. When she is not performing comedy, she's busy writing. Her greatest joy is creating funny stories and games with her kids. Kristy lives in Massachusetts with her husband, 3 boys, and a spoiled dog named Lego. How appropriate, Lego! Let me guess, the kids named the dog.
The kids named the dog. It is a very difficult name, though, when we were training the dog. Let go, let it go, let's go. Everything sounds like Lego.
What kind of dog?
He's a rescue dog. He's a mutt of a million different
They say
things.
sometimes that's the best.
He's great. We got him prior to the pandemic, about 6 months before the pandemic, and
Yeah.
it actually worked out great because he was.
Oh, yeah.
It was wonderful. He's
I've
wonderful.
heard, was it on the news or elsewhere, that a lot of people were getting a pet during the pandemic because they're shut in.
Right.
Yeah, and it helps, I think. It really
Right.
does. We have 2 cats, one huge male. The girl is getting up there. She's a little, they're no spring chickens, but
Yeah.
does your dog beg at the table?
My dog is the biggest baby. In fact, when my kids, they did full remote for the year of 2021. When my kids finally went to school, the dog was so upset that they would go to, he wouldn't eat breakfast. He wouldn't eat until they came home. He was like having his own hunger strike.
Did he howl?
No.
The kind of dog I like, a basset hound,
Yeah.
they have a tendency to, if you leave the house. We have the male cat does this.
Yeah.
He follows my husband everywhere, into the bathroom. I've never seen an animal so attached.
You're right.
Never. Now, if you continue this, what do you think the title would be?
Don't smile.
Don't smile.
Right. The book is named because of my kids. Every time I would pick them up from preschool, I would say, "What did you do today in school?" And they would say, "I don't know."
Yeah, I don't know.
And so I would create crazy stories, like, were you on the top of the roof at the school? And that they would just say, I don't know. So that's kind of the basis of the book, where on this book, each joke starts off where the adult penguin references a real book, such as Cinderella or Jack and the Beanstalk or whatnot, and then it's followed up with a punchline of a make-believe story. So as you read the book, hopefully adults reading the book can let the child know what the book is that's being referenced, or maybe go out and read that book as well. And then there's a little bee that follows.
The little bee is everywhere.
Every page there's a bee to find.
Was that your idea?
Yes, it was my idea.
And Jay took right to it.
Right, because we didn't know, him and I, we did this entire thing virtually.
Off the seat of your pants?
Well, no, but we never got together in person to make these illustrations or anything. So we would have Zoom meetings, him and I, and he'd send me illustrations. We'd go back and forth. But I knew I wanted something for little kids to find on each page to help keep them engaged.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And Jay, at one point we said maybe a smiley face to bring it to Worcester or something to that effect. But Jay has used bees in his comic book, and he suggested a bee, and that's kind of took off from there.
You know where else this would be great? Do you ever get over to UMass?
No.
Okay. Well, it's right over Worcester, UMass Medical Center.
Yeah.
They have a whole children's hospital as part of it. And, boy, if you could give a book over there, because they bring around a fun cart. Sometimes they have library books, things like that. What a great book.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, definitely, because they've got a lot of little kids over there.
Yeah.
A lot of children. Did you know that you would write someday when you were in school?
No.
No idea.
No.
Were you the comedian in the class?
No.
No?
Not at all.
You were just regular, right?
Correct, yes. My degrees are in accounting. I used to be...
Accounting?
You used to work in finance at Boston University.
What got you to change?
Once I had kids, I started staying home and then kind of grew.
And that's it.
Right.
What about the comedy? How did that
Yeah,
come?
well, when I was home, I would say things to friends, and they would say, like, oh, that's very funny, and they would laugh. And then I said to my husband one day, do you think I could do this? And he's like, I don't know. So I went to an open mic, and I saw her, and then I went back and I tried it. And the worst thing happened. I got a laugh. And then I've been chasing that laugh ever since. So,
Yeah, I love the way you say you ask your kids, what'd you learn today? I don't know.
I don't know.
My grandfather would walk all the way down our hill to greet me and walk me up after school. What did you learn today? Nothing. Nothing. And then I would tell him, you need a shave. I mean, thanks to Grandpa, talk about not appreciating. He was very elderly, walking all the way down to greet me. It's just nothing. I think the kids, they want to just sort of leave it right there. They get off that school bus. I don't know if you were like me. I'm like, oh, God, I can't wait to get on that bus and get home. Because you have milk and cookies and stuff like that. My mother let me play. I guess when I got home, just go play, have a good time. And then homework would be after dinner, that type of thing.
Right.
Is that how you grew up?
Yeah, I grew up in Grafton, the same thing. You'd come home, you'd go play, do your homework.
Do you like the scholastic book fairs?
I volunteer at the book fair.
You do?
Yeah, at my kids' school, I do it for the whole week. I'm
Which
there.
school?
So I had kids at South Grafton Elementary, and I would do the whole week. And then I do Millbury Street Elementary School as well.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's great.
It is. And also, I know when my son was little, I think sometimes I got more of a kick out of it than he did.
Right.
I don't know if you ever found it, but I'm like, I will read kids' book, young adult books. I will. Do you read just everything you get your hands on?
No.
No?
Not at all. In fact, as a child, I was not a big reader at all. And so when I had my first child, I wanted him, because I knew that if you didn't read, it becomes harder throughout your life. So I really wanted him to read a lot. He's quite an accomplished reader now. He's read more books than I could even imagine. All my kids are big readers. And one of the things when writing this book is that when they were little, I always picked books that were funny, that would keep them engaged. I never took a book just because it was a classic or something to that effect. So
something like a puzzle that you have to figure out.
Something.
I think there's some, especially for little boys, they have, I can't think of the series, Kristy. The cover of this little boy, it's like a cartoon, but he's got a magnifying glass.
Oh, Nate the Great, probably?
Yeah, probably Nate the Great. If you go into the bookstores, if you make a beeline to the children's section, it's fascinating to see the books. There are some there that I grew up with.
Right.
Do you remember, what was it called, Captain Underpants?
Yeah, my kids read Captain Underpants.
Do you know some parents didn't want that?
Right. No, I let my kids read pretty much anything within reason. Dog Man, Captain Underpants, Bad Guys. Bad Guys was a great series when they were real little because it made you feel like you read a lot, but there were just like a few words on each page.
Yeah. I had I was the publicist for a children's. She was brand new too, children's author, and I personally went over to the elementary school, and I said, "Why have you said no to her book?" It was called The Booger Genie. Mm-hmm. Well, you know how kids put their finger up there, and it was very cute. And she said, because there are those few parents, they're going to say no. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Right.
It's not like a pornographic book or anything. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
You don't either?
No.
Where are their heads?
I don't know. I think if reading is reading, if they enjoy it, that's great.
Yeah,
then they're going to want to
read.
They're going to want to read more.
The Captain Underpants, that was it. Oh, what about Pokemon? Is that still big now?
Yeah, it's still big. Not so much in my household anymore. My kids are kind of aging.
They got away from it. What kind
of
books did your 10-year-old like to read?
My 10-year-old. So each of my kids like very different books than the previous. My 12-year-old, he's very big into historic books.
Is that a girl?
It's a boy. I have 3 boys.
Oh, that's right. You got boys. Okay.
So he was big into anything history oriented. He read when he was in 2nd grade all the Who Was, What Was books, that whole series. So he likes anything historic. And then my 10-year-old, he likes more like sci-fi, space type books, or fairy tales, or fractured fairy tales, or choose your own adventures. And then my littlest one, he's 8 years old. He's more into the graphic novels.
Yeah.
So
what do you think of these? You know, I'll look at the title of a kid's book. I'll think, well, that looks really cool. I open it up. It's the, what do they call the graphic? Is that
graphic?
I don't know. Do you like it?
Yeah, I like I said, if they're gonna read, if they want to pick up a book and
Let
read
them
it,
read it, right?
let them read it.
You're right. You're right.
That's my.
But my urge is more to color it. If I were to write a kid's book, it would be to have them have a little fun, like you're the same way. Have a little fun with it.
Right.
Right. Now you've got the bee that follows around.
Right.
And then I think I would just probably have something they could color or something in the book.
So even in my book, if you go click on my QR code, you'll find activity sheets on my website. Inside the book, there's a QR code.
Okay. Is it back?
Inside the book. Yeah.
In the back?
There's
No.
in the front.
In here?
Yeah, it's in the page. Or in the next
Let's
page.
see.
Right.
What's it? Okay. Oh, this little
For
one right
fun,
here?
yeah, for fun extras, you can click on that.
Click on that.
And then it'll take you to my website, and we have coloring sheets and connect the dots and little activities for the
Could
kids.
you hear that?
To print off.
She's got, then, you know, parent can color along, do it.
Right.
Right along with the kids. I know when I used to work as a nanny, one thing that jump-started my art again was this wonderful little girl, and one day we're sitting together, and she was basically doodling. And it struck me, I went, that looks like a lot of fun. I started doing it, and my own abstract style just came from it.
Yeah.
But it's amazing what we learn from children.
Right.
Have your children read this to you?
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, they read it to me. My oldest, my kids are a little aged out of this book, but
Yeah.
but yeah, when I was reading it to them, and I would show them the illustrations that would go along with it, and they would approve it, or
Definitely.
we had, for example, we had one rhyme in there which was an homage to my 10-year-old because he was big into math, and it said about a lonely number named Zero. And when we saw the illustration of it, it was a zero sitting on a swing crying because he was all alone. And he said, that's too sad. And I said, you're right, we're going to change that. And we made it a fancy number named Zero, and he's got a top hat and a whole.
Yeah. Do you think you'll ever go graphic, or you think you want to stay just like this?
Just like this is
Yeah,
good.
this is good.
Yeah.
This is, why is graphic becoming popular, though? I don't understand it.
I don't know, I think it's easy for kids to pick up. They feel like they've read a lot.
It's almost like a comic book, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Again,
But they take a lot of books, even such as the I Survive series, and they make them into graphic novels. So those are great too because you're getting the history of it.
You know something? I just thought of something. I want to run this by you. Let's say you pick up a a scrapbook of blank pages. You're a mom too. Would you recommend, like, if you divide it into 4 pieces, the kids, would they like to create their own graphic?
My kids love making their own books.
They do?
Yes. In fact, my youngest, he'll write the words, and my oldest will write the words, and my youngest will draw the pictures that go along with it. They love to. My oldest used to have in the Millbury Street school, like, his own collection of books, because the Millbury librarian would allow, if you wrote a book, that it could be on display.
What a great thing to do. Well, we are talking with Kristy. She's a new author, Kristy Kielbasinski. I got that. And she has written I Don't Know for Children. How can they get your book?
They can get it at Amazon or on my website, or I had forgotten, like you said, at Tatnick Bookseller and Annie's Book Swap.
Yeah.
It's available there as well.
Now, what was I going to say? She'll also be leaving a book here at the Upton Town Library
Yes.
to have exhibited. I'm not sure if we're going to have it exhibited now or it's going to go right over to the new building. So be looking for it because it'll be dedicated authors, or it might even be in the children's section. Local authors are featured too, and she's very local. Now, I'm thinking your next book might be out. What do you think? Maybe by fall or Christmas?
I don't know when that is going.
I think Christmas.
I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. Right now, I'm quite busy with stand-up comedy.
Yeah,
That's kind of my main focus.
These
at the
would be
moment.
wonderful gifts. The grandparents, parents can give their children for the holidays. I know I'm jumping it here, but I always tell the authors, I say, you got the holidays coming up, and I know what I buy, for the kids. this type of, just like you, get them to read.
Get them to read.
They're on computer too much.
Yeah, they're on the computer.
And I gotta say, I've got a couple of friends who swear by that doggone, what is that thing they read? E-book?
Ebooks, yeah. My kids, during the pandemic, because they're such big readers and we couldn't get to libraries, I got one of my children an e-reader, and he hates reading on it in comparison to reading a real book.
It's not the same. I think probably the majority of us, at least right now, want to feel the book, look at the book. It's a different feeling.
Right.
If I'm on my phone and I'm tapping or something, I don't feel like reading. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I'll text somebody if I have to, or find out what a call is, and that's it, put it away.
Yeah.
But this, I would bring, if I was taking care of the little ones, I would bring it with me to wherever we're going. Keep them busy in the waiting room. We have got about 2 minutes left. Again, Kristy, how can they get your book?
They can get it on Amazon, at Tatnick Bookseller, through my website, or at Annie's Book Swap. And it's available in a lot of local libraries, which is Grafton, Shrewsbury, Northborough. Yeah.
She's going to be, this is good. This is a wonderful start, believe me. I mean, just the cover is terrific. And it's the right size.
Yeah.
So, do you think Jay will do your next one too?
If I do a next one, definitely.
If you do the next one.
I love
Jay. Are you, now, you already said it, you're at the Comedy Stop in Boston. Where else are you appearing?
So, yeah, I'll be at the Comedy Stop this weekend, Friday and Saturday night, and then, I don't have my schedule in front of me. I'll be in Bridgewater the following weekend for fundraiser shows, and I have some women's moms group shows in Hopkinton coming up, and in Millbury. There's nowhere I don't go.
That's great. Now, hubby stays home with the kids while you're out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he works during the day, obviously, and I'm home with the kids.
And you enjoy it?
Comedy? Yeah. Comedy's wonderful.
How long is it? About half an hour?
So a comedy show lasts exactly about 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And typically at a club, for instance, at Nick's or the Comedy Scene, we'll have 3 comedians, a host, a feature, a headliner. So I currently host or feature. The headliner will do like 40 minutes.
Have the kids, well, they're too young.
They're too young to see me.
How about the grandparents? Have they seen?
My mother went to one show. It's hard to do comedy in front of people that you know.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to go. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for
having me. She's local, and I hope you're going to be on again with that next book. Maybe one of these days you can come on and do some stand-up comedy for us. We'd like it. Why not, right? We have everybody on here, everybody. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you next time and be my guest.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems.